What's going on, guys? Welcome to Gunshot Gaming. I'm Tito Rosado, and we finally got gameplay for Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm beyond pumped. So let's talk about it. Alright, so even though this is a third-party game, Sony was able to get the deal to create a state of play, a Sony state of play that just went through everything Hogwarts Legacy. Now, there were rumors floating around about this game a long time ago. There was also a leak that apparently came from them showing footage to people like in a mall. One of those things where it was like, hey, do you want to come look at this and give us your thoughts? So that's where we saw something a long time ago. But man, this is the first time we've got concrete evidence of this beautiful looking game. And upon watching the video, it's just hit every single, it exceeded expectations of what I thought a great Harry Potter game could be. Or obviously it's not about Harry Potter, but in that world. So it's it's a immersive action RPG, open world, and it is so much more open than I even imagined it could be. Like, looking here at this video of gameplay, like, it is just gorgeous. The detail of every room, the way everything is just really hitting that exact type of style that we're wanting out of a Harry Potter game. It's just awesome to see that these developers, they obviously have a lot of love for this franchise, and you can see it within the game, because I really didn't know what to expect when we first heard that this was coming. And one thing I'm very happy to see is that it's not some live service game. It's not like, hey, play with your friends and blah, blah, blah. And then, we get too much crap with that. A lot of live service games seem to fail. So I'm glad that this is just focusing on an amazing single player experience that really immerses you in this world. So not only are you starting like in school, like you're legit going to Hogwarts, you'll get sorted into, one of the areas, you'll get in one of the houses as it shows, but also like you can be, a wizard or a witch, and you will grow your skills. You'll go to school, you'll be learning certain things, you'll be not only being able to explore all of Hogwarts, but even the areas around, showing, the different ways that you can use to get around the world and explore and learn new things. It's just, like I said, it's so much more than I expected it to be, and I'm so pleasantly surprised. And I'm hoping that this game actually ends up hitting all those strides, because with the amount of stuff that they showed, it does give me a lot of faith that hopefully the game will be great. Granted, you never know, right? You can't trust just seeing a video or just seeing a demo. I always like to think back to when we saw that first Anthem demo, right? People were like, oh, this looks crazy. But then you find out it was just like super fake, and they came up with that like real quick. It wasn't even legit gameplay. But they showed a lot here for the Hogwarts Legacy, and a lot of it looked very polished. Granted, I said it looked polished. I don't know if it is polished. We'll find out when the game actually releases. But, it really, as I was watching it and looking at every detail of how you were getting around in this game, it really felt like as if Rockstar made a Harry Potter game. That's what it looked like. Like Grand Theft Auto, Harry Potter, Grand Theft Potter, Grand Theft Potter. They all suck. But, it really looked like that level of quality. Not only that, but just within the way that it looked. Like I said, every single room that they walked into, the detail of everything just looked gorgeous. And, that's why this has been exceeding my hype. I thought it was going to be more of a kind of basic experience, but after seeing the devs talk, because after the state of play that went through kind of detail about what exactly the game is, what you're going to be doing in the game, what the gameplay looks like, some of the devs got to speak to, kind of their excitement for working on this, and just the way they were talking, you could feel the passion they have for the Harry Potter franchise, the passion that they have towards this IP, and they're probably so stoked to work on it, and that love looks like it's pouring into the game, because the more and more we see of it, I'm just like, wow, they could have got away with doing something basic like Marvel's Avengers, right? Oh, we got a good IP, let's do something basic, people won't care, they're just gonna buy it because it's Marvel Avengers, right? Any company could have done that with Harry Potter, like whatever, it's a big IP, just give them something, right? But they didn't. They're doing something more, and that stuff needs to be celebrated, because that's what we need more of. Back in the day, we used to always get games that were created based off of movie franchises, and they were just trash, such trash, because it was just like, oh, whatever, people know this character, so let's make it, right? Every single movie game just sucked. Independence Day, Men in Black games, they all were terrible. So it's great to see that they're taking the Harry Potter franchise. Granted, once again, it's not Harry Potter. So this game, it's set in the 1800s. It's before everything with actually Harry Potter, but it's in that wizarding world, obviously. But you get to come to the school. You're first year, or I think it says you're coming in at a late, but it's you're a new student, but you're coming in late into the year where you probably should have started earlier. So there's going to be different ways of how you're going to be interacting with the kids there. They were showing how probably some kids are going to give you a hard time, how you could meet other kids there, and they'll probably be like different side quests, and you can choose how you want your relationships to form with the people within Hogwarts, as well as just it really seems like they're trying to make it that it's like your story. Obviously, you create your own character within this game too, which is great. You're not just a specific protagonist. It's you create yourself, and you're going to Hogwarts, and you're gonna have an adventure. And I just can't believe how good everything looks, and I hope it pans out that way, right? We've had such bad luck lately with games looking great and coming out a broken, buggy mess, or they come out and there's just nothing to do in them. I think that would be my only fear for this game, is that they create this beautiful, great open world and there's nothing to do, right? And maybe you do all the things, or it just feels super repetitive, because that's what, for example, when I think back to when we got Grand Theft Auto Online for the first time, it just felt like, oh, this is a cool, beautiful open world, but there's nothing to do. I'm just doing the same things over and over again. Not to say that's what we're going to get in Harry Potter, but that could be my fear, because, hopefully they have enough things to do. But the more and more they started showing all this gameplay, I was impressed to see how much extra detail from, building out, almost like your common area, and how you can take in animals and bring them back and heal them up. And there's just so many different layers to this game that got me excited to feel like they are putting more stuff into it. It's not just your basic run around and hit things, use your wand, like that's it, that's all you're gonna do. Even though that parts did look good, because that was one thing I was wondering, is how the combat was going to be, and it does look like it's really fun and varied in the way that it was showing things. Like, it looked really cool and looked like it's going to be enjoyable. Once again, seeing that they had this deal with PlayStation in order to do a state of play. Granted, once again, this game is coming out on all consoles. And even recently, there's been reports that it's apparently going to be coming to Nintendo Switch, which I'm like, how? What is it going to look like on Switch? Because, man, this game looked so great in gameplay. I wonder how downgraded it's going to be for Switch. But, that's besides the point. But knowing that PlayStation has a deal with them, my head's always going to go, are they going to get like a little VR experience? PlayStation is heavily invested in their PSVR 2, and they've stated that they're really going to be requesting for studios to create bite-sized experiences of their games. Granted, they are going to put out full-size experiences, but that's just where my head goes. It probably couldn't happen, but man, how cool would it be to get like a VR experience inside that game? Not to say you go through the whole game, but thinking back to when we got Star Wars Battlefront that came out on PlayStation, and only on PlayStation there was a special VR mission that you could play, and it was amazing. It was super cool, super small, super short, but it was beautiful, and it was cool to immerse yourself in that world. Give me something that, let me wave a wand, let me do the actual things. And it's got a microphone on there, right? I could say the actual spells as I'm waving a wand. Like, why do we not have a good Harry Potter game in VR yet? Why? Can you tell me? And me personally, I'm not like the biggest Harry Potter fan in the world. I thoroughly enjoyed the movies and think they're great. I loved following those kids' stories, throughout all those films. But I never read any of the books, because they all came out when I was not somebody who read books. I didn't start really reading things for fun until I was older, because as a kid I was like, no, that's reading, that's what you do in school. And I played a lot of video games. But now I've actually been getting more into it. But, just so you know, kind of my level of like, I'm not some huge Harry Potter fan. I've enjoyed the movies. I think it's a cool world that has been created. But like I said, seeing this game, I'm just like, yes, this just looks like everything I would expect and want out of a Harry Potter game. And I'm just so excited to see more of it. And I love the state of play that they put out on it. This is exactly what more games should do. Honestly, I'd rather games just remain silent on like what you're doing, and then just boom, do something like this that really just shows you, okay, this is what the game is, this is what you're getting, this is what you're going to be doing. Like it really gave you so much, and I love that games are doing this, and I think Sony's been doing a great job with their state of plays. Obviously taking off of Nintendo Direct, and I think Xbox needs to catch up in that standpoint. I think they need to come up with their own version of a state of play or Nintendo Direct, because what PlayStation has been doing, I think is great, because it's keeping them being talked about, and especially doing deep dives into games, as they've done their state of plays where it's simply going over a whole bunch of games, but also where they do a specific focused one game. Like this was just simply, hey, you're getting a state of play on Hogwarts Legacy, and that's it, which I was fine with, and everybody else was, because literally I don't think I've seen anything like negative about this. Every single person, even some of the people who can be more negative about things that come out, because they love to get their likes and their views off being negative, are still very positive about it, because it just looks so great. Like everything about it looks good, and I'm just, if you can't tell, I'm hyped. I'm excited. So I can't wait to check this out. I can't wait till we get more details about it. What did you think of it? Did you watch the state of play? Are you a big Harry Potter fan? Are you not a big Harry Potter fan? What did you think of it? Are you excited to play this? Do you think it's something you'll be purchasing, or do you not care at all? Let me know down below. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day.